Okay, I hope you guys have scanned the QR code, and I think uh, because we already finished the chapter one, chapter two, the fundamentals, and then the chapter two, the functions. We will have a small, let's say, like a quiz. Okay, but uh, I just saw that some of you are still not joining the Google Classroom. uh, like for example, Andres, you still not joining the Google Classroom. Can you join it? Use this link. Can you join? You need to use your GApps account. Um, you need to change the account, the Google account. Andres, you need to change the Google account. Click the uh, on the top corner of your right. You see the your Google account. You need to change into the GApps account. I've said it many times, and if you still keep not solving this problem, I don't know how to help. Okay, I already said many times, and you need to actually. This is not high school anymore. Okay, so we are grown ups and adults, and I consider you as an adult as well. So that you need to have a responsibility of yourself. Okay, so first you need to apply the apps account. Apps account. Do you know the GApps account? That is not regular Gmail. And all of your friends here, they are all already applied for GApps account. And if you still not sure how, you can ask your friends. Okay, you ask your classmates how to apply the account. And then when you join the Google Classroom, you need to change the Google account, change into your GApps account. It should be looks like this: your GApps account, your ID, and then your this should be your GApps account. So you will have your student ID at gapps.ntsc.edu.tw. That will be your new email as well. It's also Google, but it's Google Education Suite. So it will be your Google base for all your educations in NTUSD. So when we are using the Google platform, we can use all the free platform by using these GApps like the Google Classroom, the Google Meet, and Google Meet will be having usually you cannot record your session, but it will be available for the GApps account. Okay. Uh, okay, let me just take a slight review for yesterday class. Okay. So uh, I hope you get this transformations idea. Okay. Helen, for the quiz, it will be a small quiz. It can be taken anytime actually, but it will have a certain limitations for example, you open the platform and you will have like certain time limit. Okay, and then you will have so whenever you open, it will have like a timer, and then each question have a timer, so you need to solve each questions based on the timer. So you need to think fast, and then I prepared reasonable time for each question. I'm still arranging the questions, so hopefully around next week. But it can be any time. I will have like duration that you can click the link, and if you are missing out to click the link, then you will miss out the quiz. Okay. Uh, I will maybe later after we finish the course today, I will make some announcement about this information. Okay. Okay. I hope this transformation here, yeah, you can get the idea how to transform. Okay. You'll see here how you can move the graph. The original graph is in the middle. You can move upwards, you can move downwards, right? You can shift to the right, shift to the left. And if going up, you will have +2. If going down, you have -4. If going to the right, you have +2. Going to the left, you have, right? And that's why the answer will be this one. All right. Okay. For the second question, I think uh, I'm not sure how your process is, but in actuality, I've given this graph, right? So let me just erase all this additional. Okay, so the question is asking G4. This is actually G, and then we have f of 4 inside that function G. So we need to look at, we have two functions, f and G. So look at functions of f and see when f is at x equal 4. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is here, so it's going to be here. Then this will be equaling, so f4 is equaling 2, which means this is basically saying that. So g of 2 is when you have, this is 2 here, the x equal 2. So you have this and this. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's why the answer is 5. Okay, do you get it? Okay, that's how you observe through the graph for the compositions. Okay, and no one get the correct answer. Okay, let me continue. And this is the um, one-to-one functions. How to determine? We can make the line. Let's say we make the line this one. Of course, if we look here, we have this point here is uh, more than once crossing the functions, which means it's not one-to-one. Here is okay, right? You see that the line is uh, crossing exactly once. This is also okay. Here, you see in the middle here, it's not one-to-one, right? Because it's crossing many point, right, in this line here. So it should be 8 and 9, but because I mistakenly put two answer here, I've already corrected the system, and this will be the correct answer, these two. Okay? So 8 and 9 both are correct. So the leaderboard becomes, the winner is Arjun. Okay. So sorry for this mistake, the system. Okay. Okay, I hope you get the idea from yesterday's quiz. And I checked your homework. Okay. Um, and I decided to that I think these questions, this I think, yeah, I took this three to give you some examples on how we are going to solve the uh, questions. So chapter one, number 67. I think, let me check what is the questions. Okay, we need to find the solutions, right? Okay. Let's see here. Okay, we can start with, if you want to look uh, in a very nice and clean rational function. And we can uh, we can write this, and then we can also write that this is okay. Okay, we consider, because both denominator are the same, we can consider the numerator as the one that creating zeros. So we can consider this, and then we can factorize this, and then we can say that we have two answers, right? But again, uh, some of you still writing these two answers, and it's not a complete solution. You need to also look at the functions. When you have x equal to, some of the answer here will be undefined, right? So the only solution that are possible are this x equal minus 5. This is the answer. So this is rejected solution. So this is the only solution, right? Okay. Now the next question. Oh, should be, yeah, the inequality, right? The inequality. Now, how to solve the inequality? Okay. First, let's look up uh, how to deal with the equation first. If we are going to factorize, it's we can have this x minus 2 and x plus 2. Okay, at least, okay, and uh, use line number whenever you see any inequality, okay, just to confirm that you are correct, and just to make sure that you are uh, you are on the right path. Okay, so please write line number, because I see some of your answers, and then you sometimes you ignore the line number. It's okay if you are confident and if it's correct, that's okay. But you are making mistake because of maybe the signs. Okay, so to avoid that mistake, please use line number. I already said many times, please use line number. Okay, how to use line number? First, look at the equation here. We have x minus 4. It is less equal, so at least when x is 4, when x is 4, it's the whole solution is, maybe it's a 0, right? So we can write 4, that is making it here. And then we also have, we cannot make it equal to, and we can also cannot make it equal -2, right? So we can also include these two numbers inside the line number. And we don't need to be involving these two. So we need to have an open interval, right? This and this, probably there. Okay. And then how we can proceed from here, we need to select, okay, select any line, any number in between here. Okay. Now let's select maybe from the left. Maybe we start with -3. Let's start with -3. If we plug in -3 inside the whole equations, -3, and then it's negative, right? It's negative. Try this one, -7, -3, 9. So it's still negative, right? And we don't even need to calculate the whole numbers. We just need to see how the signs will be. Okay. So we will have negative here. Okay. And how about in the middle? We can select, oh, probably 0. We'll look at 0, it's positive. Right? It's minus divided by minus, so it's positive. So all positive here. And how about in this one? We can start with 3. See the equation here. 3 is negative, right? And how about 5? We have 5. We have 5. Five, it's positive, right? So you can say that because we want to have equal or less than 0, so we want to have at least negative or equal 0, right? So we have this, and we have this, and the one that makes 0 is 4, so we can have 4 include in the equation. So we can write the answer. We can write, and also please, you need to differentiate, you need to make some distinction between this bracket and this bracket. This means open interval. This is closed interval. Okay, please make some, let's write in a really good way that I can see that this is different. Okay, if you write both, right, this, and then it's not really uh, distinctive, uh, that I cannot see the difference, then that's still not okay. Okay, that's not okay. And yeah, next one is this questions. Okay, I think this is about the domain. Okay, find the domain, right? Okay, how to do the uh, the first thing. Okay, how to do the first thing? You can look at the equations. Okay, first we have the square root here. Any square root, it should be, yeah, it's okay. Jordan, that's correct. Yeah, you can write. This is also okay. All right, no problem. Okay. Okay, so find the domain. The square root, it should be at least it is zero, right? You can have the zero, but you cannot have negative. So you need to have x should be greater or equal to zero. Okay, and then let's see if we can factorize this. You okay? Let's factorize maybe 2x. X, this is 1 1. I need to make it positive, so this, right? So it will be 2x minus 1, x plus 1. Okay, so 2x minus 1 should be not equal 0, x plus 1 should be not equal 0, so x should be not be negative 1, and 2x should not be 1, x should not be half. And again, we can have uh, we can have some line number if you want, and we can write all the information inside. Okay, and then we can look at several number. For instance, if we have negative here, this will be having a negative, right? So we cannot include this. So we start from negative 1 to 0. We can start with negative maybe half. I think that's also not okay, right? So all the things negative are not okay, right? Let me write not okay for the square root, right? So we'll have only this part. Okay. Let's say we have one. What we have here, I think this is still okay. So we can have from 0, half, and then half infinity. I think that's okay. Or you can have from 0, x, x. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's the domain. And yeah, I hope for number 70 in finding domain, why the answer is mm-hmm. Let me check the number 70. What's the question? Okay. Let me give you one more. Okay. 76, 76, 77, or wait. Let me write it 70 first. Okay. This is the question, right? Okay. So what's the solution for this? Look at the denominator here. We need to have 6 minus x. Okay, let me start from here. Okay, let me start with these two functions here. Okay, let me start these two functions. The first one is this. This is And what will happen if we have this? We will have a combination, right? The domain will be combined. So we will have, okay, so same thing happened here for the 6 minus x. What will happen if this, uh, if x equals 6, what will happen? Okay, so that's why the answer will be, do you get it, Jordan? Okay, so if you have combinations, you need to combine the domain also. 76, all right. 76, the questions is this. Okay. All right, what will be, okay, remember this is even root, right? It will be a different answer if you have this, if you have this cubic root. Because it's even, we only need to be consider this x squared minus 6x need to be greater or equal 0. Okay, and if we have this, and then we can think how to make 0 from here, either x equals 0 or x equals 6, right? Yeah, we can make a line number. So to make sure that you are correct, you can make sure that you are making it into line number. So 0, 6, and then from here, negative, you will have positive here. Check with negative 1. Check with 1, you will have negative. Check with 7, you will have a positive. And you need to make the positive one that are here, right? So you have the answer will be, domain is, okay. Okay. So basically, to solve the domain, you need to know which one you are really, uh, which one is your goal. Okay. For example, here, this is your goal to make it greater or equal 0. So when you are doing the line number, you know what to do. You need to find the positive one, or at least making it 0. And then you need to make sure the point is including the point or not including the point, uh, open or close, you need to know, right? So when you have this one, greater or equal, at least you need to have the inclusion of this point, 0, and then also 6. Okay, that's how you solve using line number. So whenever you have an inequality, finding the domains, making the line numbers is having, is preventing you, any mistake. Okay? So you can avoid mistakes and you can confirm your solutions through line numbers. So it's making your life better actually. Okay, if there's no other questions, because we are running out of time. Uh, Jordan, if I write domain not using the close and open interval, is it okay? It's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. Like you answer x less than 6 and x less equal 6. That's different, right? That's different. Okay. Do you understand what close and open interval means? This means close interval. If you have this x, this is open interval. You can choose which one you want to write. You can choose the interval. You can choose writing like this. But what I mean open and close, right? This is also open. Okay? This is closed. Okay. And if you want to write in an interval, you can write maybe this. That's okay. Or maybe 4, and then to create union, and then you get to write this, and then maybe 5 to infinity. Okay. Or you can write and then x. Okay. That's your choices. Okay. Okay. All right. Let me start with the polynomial and rational functions. So we start with the general equation of polynomial. So that is the general equations. And let's start with, okay, I think we can start with this. Okay. So let's start with the quadratic function. So quadratic function, as you know, it's the degree 2 polynomial functions. We can write them in terms of ax squared plus bx plus c, and a should not be 0 to make it degree 2. Okay. And then we can also write in a standard form, if you remember how. Okay. So we can write this quadratic into standard form. Okay. We can use the complete the square to make it happen. Okay. I hope you still remember that. And then we can have two kinds of graph. We can have uh, the upward graphs, okay, and downwards graphs. Okay. Upward if a is positive, downwards is if a is negative. Okay. So x squared and minus x squared, okay, it will be having two different graphs. Okay. And then if we look at this standard form here, we will have a number h and k, and that the h and k will be the vertex or the extreme point. Okay, we can say vertex or extreme point, same thing. Okay, and this is also the vertex. If the graph is like the left one here, we call this it's having a minimum value, and the right side will be having a maximum value. I will uh, review that part later on, but at least you get the idea that you have these two equation here, okay? Where a one is positive, the other one is negative. Okay. Now look at these equations. Now we have function of f 2x squared minus 12x plus 13. So first, how do we deal with this equation? And can we write something like this with a complete square? Let's start to check. Okay. So write down making it into this equation. Okay. To complete square, remember you need to plus with the 6 over 2 and then square. Okay? 6 over 2 is 3. 3 squared is 9. So plus 9. Okay. Because it's plus 9 and you need to multiply by 2. So it's the total will be plus 18. Right. Total of this plus 9 multiplied by 2 is plus 18. So you need to minus 18. Okay. To make it equal. Because if you plus and you don't subtract it, you will change the whole equations, right? Okay, I hope you understand that. Okay, and then we can write this become and this will be. So we can say, okay, this is the standard form, okay, standard form by completing the square, okay, standard form. And what is the vertex? The vertex is 3 and -5, okay. Careful, you need to remember that the original equation starts with -h, okay, and the vertex is just h, okay. So careful with the negative part here, the negative sign. So it's 3 and -5, right? And if you need to find the um, x-intercept, the x-intercept is when y is equal to 0. So um, the whole equation is f of x, it's y. So 0 will be, so we will have the x-intercept will have two point, and if it is asking y-intercept, you need to make x equal 0, then you can write y 2 and then 0. This will be 9 to 18 minus 5 is 13. So y equals 13 is the y-intercept. So it will be passing through the uh, y equal 13. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me continue a little bit. Okay. Let me continue a little bit. This is about the maximum and minimum value, as I mentioned in the previous slides. So this will be the minimum, the left part here, and this will be the maximum. Okay. If we look at the minimum and maximum, both are having at the hk point, which is the vertex. Okay. Remember, we have the standard form includes the h and k, and based on the graph, the minimum or maximum is occurring when x is equal h, right? So we will have k is the minimum or maximum value, right? Okay, let me check. Uh, okay, let's say we have we find the maximum value. So first, if you want to complete the square, you can make it and write this, and then plus 2. And to make it complete square, divide by 2, 1 1/2, and then square. So need to be plus 1 over 4. Okay. I hope you get this idea. Okay, complete the square. Okay. If you're still confusing on how did this happen, you need to review and please let me know if you are still confusing about this part. Okay. And then minus 1 over 4. Okay. And this will be minus x minus half squared. Um, oh, this should be plus. Sorry. Because minus and minus. So minus and then plus, right? Okay. And this will be plus 9 over 4. Okay, from here, we know that this is the maximum value. Okay. So max value 9 over 4. Okay. 1 over 4. Okay, look here. I think let me just explain from here. Do you get it? Why I get 9 here, Jordan? Do you get it? Why I get 9 here? So look at the 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Squared is 9. Same thing actually happened in this part. We have 1 divided by 2 squared. Okay, and then it's 1 over 2. Okay, get it? But because this is plus 1 over 4, and then you see this minus, so it's actually minus 1 over 4. So you need to plus 1 over 4 to make it equal, to make it is correct. Okay. All right. Okay. A little bit more. Let me just remind you with the original ax squared plus bx plus c. We can make it into this form, right? And then we can plus with the complete square, right? I think I've derived also this equation when you are at the quadratic formula, you remember? And then we can write this okay, so we can also use this in terms of, remember you have a x minus h and plus k. Okay, so you can write your h is equal minus p over 2a, and your k is c uh, minus p squared. But I think the k part is, if you think it's too complicated, you can just remember the h one. So minus b over 2a is the vertex, and when you put uh, the h inside the equations, this will be max and minimum value, or minimum value. So it depends on which kind of graph you have. So it can be maximum value, it can be minimum value. Okay. Okay. I think this is really common in high school, right? This part, you know that how to find the extreme point. You can use minus b over 2a, and it's actually from the standard form. Okay, if you can relate that to, so you can write uh, maximum and minimum value in terms of minus b over 2a, and depends on the negative or positive for the a. You can have minimum value, you can have maximum. Okay, any question? Any last question before we have some time to have feedback time? I just want to know how understand you are for these chapters. Okay, if there's no question, so please maybe preparing some pen and paper if you want. To have some small calculations. It's not really that complicated, I hope. Okay, so yeah, please scan the QR code. Okay, let me just present the my other screen. Okay, let's start. Okay, let's start. Yeah, write names to the ID if you want. Okay, let's start. 3, 2, 1, countdown. Okay, please write the coordinate for the vertex. So you need to at least make some calculations, or you can just use the last equation that I gave to you. Right, in terms of the bracket, coordinate bracket. Okay. Okay, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, time's up. Oh, good. Okay, we get some correct answers from you. Oh, good. Good. Okay, Jonathan and Ardian, you got the correct answer. Okay, just the last question. Calculate the minimum value. Actually, it's similar with the last question. Yeah, it's too fast. Yeah, I hope you get it. Oh, great, great. Okay, okay. Uh, See you next week. So hopefully I can finish arranging your quiz, and I will announce very soon. Okay.